I'm shocked at how many people still use ChatGPT for coding. In this video, I'm going to show you a much easier and more efficient way to code. We can still use our OpenAI account, but the tool that is going to be more effective, more productive, and much easier is OpenAI Codex. And it's easy because you can simply have a conversation just as if you are talking to your developer sitting right next to you. You're looking at a screen of my workshop registration form, and I want to make some changes to the way this form works. It's on my website, and I need to collect more information. So I'm going to switch over to what is called a development IDE from Microsoft, totally free to download from the internet. It's called Microsoft Visual Studio Code. And what I'm going to do, you can see on the left-hand side, you can see all of my files. And these are the files of my website. I'm going to click on this icon on the left-hand side, which you can see is called extensions. And I'm going to look for Codex from OpenAI. Now you can use any AI agent of your choice. I use Claude from Anthropic, and I use OpenAI Codex. So I'm going to click on Codex. Now you need to make sure you are looking at the correct extension. Make sure it's from OpenAI and make sure it has millions and millions of downloads. So I've already got this installed on my computer. Once you install it, you'll see the OpenAI Codex icon on the top right there. I'm going to click on that. That's going to open up a chat window, which I can see here on the right hand side. Let me just open it up a little bit more so we can see it. Now, all I need to do is have a conversation with Codex and tell it what I want to do. So I'm going to first say I want to work on, I want to change the workshop registration form. And that's all I'm going to say. And the reason I'm doing that to start with is I want to make sure it understands the form that I want to work with. So it should say something like, yes, I can see it. What changes do you want to make? So it's looking at the files, and that's what I want to start with. Now on the right hand side, you can see it has found the registration form, and now it's asking me, well, what do you want to change? So now I can go ahead and let it know. And so I've just added in here the changes that I want Codex to consider making to the form. And it's just some information in addition to what I'm already capturing. Things like the role of the person, whether the training is for themselves or for the team, if it's for the team, how large the team is, and how soon they are looking to enroll into the training. So Claude will now go ahead and understand my requirements and then implement those requirements. Now then we can decide if we want to stage the changes into a test environment for us to review, just like we would in an enterprise organization, into a test environment, review the changes and approve them for release into production. Or we can ask or we can ask Codex to go away and simply deploy the changes to production. Depends on our change management policy. Codex can connect to our production system, our staging environment, to any of our databases to do the work that we've asked it to do. So I'm going to wait for Codex to complete this small change. It's not a big change. There are some database changes because there's new information that I've asked it to capture. So it's going to have to make changes to the front-end website, to the back-end APIs, and to the database. And so we'll wait and see, and then we can test the changes that it has done. You can see what Codex is doing by following along, and you can see it's making changes to the code. We don't have to understand what it's doing because we've already told it what we want it to do. Then we're going to test those changes. Now, the benefit of doing it this way with Codex or any AI agent, such as Claude, I use Claude a lot as well, is that we don't have to copy and paste files across different systems. So we don't have to go into ChatGPT and copy the files from ChatGPT and then push them into our website server and then push them to the staging environment and then push them manually to our production environment. Codex can do all of that for us. All we have to do is be clear on what we want and give Codex access to the code and the environments to where we want Codex to push that code. In this example, the registration form of my workshop. Now we can test the changes. Codex has pushed the changes to the live site. I can type in my name here and my email. So we also need to check, make sure existing functionality has not broken. Now I should see a pop-up. Okay, that's what I asked for. And everything in here is mandatory. So what's my role? So IT, director. Is this workshop or training for myself or for my team? I'm going to say it's for my team. And let me first test myself, and that's good. If it's for the team, it should ask another question, which is the size of the team. Very good. So we are 15 people. How soon? I want it within the next 7 days. And are you looking for a one-day workshop or an ongoing training for the entire organization? And I'm going to say ongoing training. Now, I want to see that this submits successfully. And so here we can see that there's an error. Now, all we have to do is copy this and we go back to our development agent and just paste it in. I'm just going to paste it in and hit enter. That's it. It should know where the error is, why it's occurring, and fix it. So it's now checking why that's happening. And this is all we need to do when we are working with a developer agent like Codex or Claude. We simply have a conversation. We wait for it to do the work. We go and test it, just like we're working with a normal development team. And then if we find some issues, then we ask it to fix those issues by reporting that problem. And we can set this up so that there may be multiple people working in our team, and we're submitting Jira tickets just like you would in an office. And we can set up Codex to go and monitor the Jira board for issues that testers are finding, it to automatically pick them up and resolve and update status. So there's a lot of scope in how we can manage our development through AI, and it's so much better than working with ChatGPT and copying, pasting files and moving files around. Okay, because ChatGPT can't automatically push out changes to our staging environment. ChatGPT can't push out changes to our production environment. ChatGPT can't connect to our Jira instance and monitor Jira and update status of our Jira tickets like we can with this environment. Okay, and that's what I do. I go inside an organization and we implement systems to help teams become more productive and more efficient. And that means they save time, it's less error prone, and they can focus on more high value work. Now, Codex has said that it has fixed the issues, but it hasn't committed. So that means it hasn't pushed the changes to the testing environment. So I'm going to say commit and push the changes. Okay. And notice that sometimes I've got typos. It doesn't matter if you have typos, Codex, or any AI agent will understand what you mean. Okay. So I'm giving it permission to go and push the changes, push the files into my repository, which it knows where it is. So my code base is somewhere in the cloud, and Codex is connected to that. You can see all the files here on the left-hand side as well. Okay, but I don't need to touch any of those files. Codex is doing all of that for me. I'm just having a conversation with the agent, telling it what to do, what issues I'm facing when I'm testing its output. Okay, so it's saying that it should be live, and this now should not fail. Okay, so let's go back, and I'm going to refresh to get the latest version on the browser. Let's try this again. So Abdul test, and I'm just going to put in any email. Someone, I better use my domain email. That email actually might exist. Someone at Hotmail. So, okay, the pop-up should now come up, and you can see it starts with just basic questions. So I'm going to actually test it with these basic questions. Okay, it's for myself, and I want it right now. Hit submit, and there we go, no error, and we get a confirmation. And so the next step would be for me to check the database and make sure the information is flowing through, or if I'm getting another email in my own inbox as a confirmation that somebody's registered, I should be checking that. Okay, so that is how easy it is to work with an AI agent to make changes to your code base, your website, or an internal tool without working inside of ChatGPT, which I'm surprised so many people are still working in ChatGPT, copying and pasting files into their systems, where they can use Claude Code, or they can use OpenAI Codex or other AI agents to connect to their code base and staging and production environments to get the AI agent to push those changes by simply having a conversation with those agents. So if you want to learn more about how to use AI at work, then I encourage you to join one of my workshops. The registration page is on my website, aiYnd.com, and I look forward to seeing you at one of my workshops.